This is me sitting at my desk in London while also simultaneously attending a conference in Manchester. Is it spatial dislocation? No, this is the internet. I've signed up to do a series of webinars so that I can attend a conference called The Profession We Want, Practical Ways to Improve Philosophy, organised by Helen Beebe, Catherine Jenkins, Ian Kidd and Jenny Saul. And I've got to say they've put their money where their mouth is, insofar as money is microphones and top quality streaming equipment. Webinars are a very good way to practically improve the discipline. The conference was advertised on Philosophers, one of the main philosophy mailing lists. It looked good and I wanted to go. Unfortunately, money. In addition to the registration fee, I would have had to have bought a return ticket to Manchester, and since it's a 2-day conference, hosteled it up as well. Like a lot of people, I don't have institutional support for these kinds of trips, nor do I have much disposable time, and 2 days of conferencing combined with travelling is a pretty hefty commitment. So I was duly pumped to see it was going to be live streamed. Just log on, tune in and listen to some awesome talks about epistemic snobbery and decolonising the discipline. And, if you want, you can ask questions as well. Future.
Adam Ferner says, "Hi, thanks for this. It was great. Just wondering..."
Of course, there are downsides. It's a shame not to get FaceTime with other delegates. A lot of important philosophical work goes on during breaks and over dinners, and I'm missing out on all of that. But you know what the internet's good at? It's pretty good at networking. So I'm reckoning these kinds of problems aren't going to be problems for very long. It's exactly the right way to experience a conference like this one, which is specifically focused on tackling the elitism rife in philosophy. It also brought home some staggeringly important points about how the standard conference structure excludes people. Elizabeth Barnes, Skyping in from the States, was part of a panel discussion focusing on disability and disableism.
I think we should have an open conversation about accessibility. Accessibility is never going to be perfect, because I think a really important thing to emphasize about accessibility is that this is a Band-Aid that we're putting on a gaping wound. Accessibility are things that we try to do to make up for the fact that we've built a world that's not very accommodating to disabled people.
Accessibility is really important, and webinars like this one can make conferences accessible to people whose needs aren't met by the standard format. It also encourages different ways of interacting in discussions. I can be kind of nervous when I'm asking questions or making points, but check it out.
Webinars like this one are actually quite good for people with low confidence. There's a lot less pressure when you're asking questions online.
On top of all of these benefits, well, webinars reduce carbon footprints. I know it's nice to head off for a fancy trip to a philosophy conference in Hawaii or wherever, but do you really need to? You remember when Descartes decided to write in French rather than Latin so that his work could be more easily accessed? Seemed like a pretty smart move. Incorporating webinars into standard conference structures seems like a pretty smart move too. Future.